Oh no, let's see if this microphone's working. Someone's got to tell me if the microphone's not working. All right, let's set this up somewhere. You can see what's going on. All right, lifting session. Just going to do some power snatches and some shoulder press. So the power snatches are meant to be squat snatches, but I've been running a bit, I've been squatting a bit, my knees a little bit, So basically you're going to turn this into a power snatch session. Probably need to focus on that explosive power anyway. Throwing my Reebok Nanos on. Oh, love these things. I've had one pair of Metcons. That's the only other pair of like CrossFit or training style shoes I've had. And they were good. But I definitely like the Nanos. The Metcons were the first ever pair I had, and I had the Metcon 1s. So that was a long time ago. All right, we've got a barbell out. We're a minute in, and nothing's happened yet. So check this out. Oh. Number one thing I do when I'm snatching or lifting, I throw that barbell overhead and I get it nice and warmed up. Now, any CrossFit coach, any trainer, anyone who's spent any time weightlifting knows that the more time you spend in any of these positions, the better, right? So if you need to improve mobility or improve strength or an improved position, particularly something like this, the overhead position in a snatch or a jerk, you just need to spend more time there, and especially as you're warming up. I mean, I've got that many people that say, oh, I can't go, oh, not I can't go overhead, but fly. My overhead position sucks. And I mean, sure, like some people have structural things going on in their shoulders or upper back or whatever. But in terms of like, cool, I want to do lifting, I want to lift, I want to do snatches and all that, you do need to stretch, you do need to warm up properly, you do need to spend time in those positions. So literally, even though I've got a decent overhead position, I will get a barbell and I'll throw it up and I'll warm up for like 5 minutes with this thing. Maybe not 5 minutes today because I'm just hitting some power snatches real quick, but I'll definitely get a few minutes in and go through some reps, right? Don't have to explain this to you. It's behind the next push press. So I can even feel it warming the shoulders up sitting on my back rack, all right? And really, there's a million drills you can do, but there's like no recipe for what's perfect. Get it overhead, hold it, stay active, stay strong, so pressing it to the roof, and you'll get nice and warmed up, and you warm up properly and you spend some time here early in your session or before you start lifting, your overhead position is going to be way better, you're going to make way more lifts, and everything's just going to go so smoothly, right? Not sure if you can tell, one arm actually broke my elbow. So that it's slightly less bent. I'm pushing and I'm pushing and I'm pushing to lock it out, but it's slightly less bent. All right, that overhead's had a little bit of work. Gonna get these legs warmed up a little bit. And like I said with that overhead stuff, there's a million things you can do. Is there a real recipe for success? Not really. Legs, how do we get them warmed up? You could do some lunges, some air squats. You can jump on a bike or a rower. It's pretty simple, right? But because I'm going to be doing some snatching, I'll get these things warmed up a little bit. And once I'm feeling good, like I will start jumping. That's something I really like to do. No one's watching. Bloody hell. It's a bit depressing. But jumping and being explosive is key for any of this lifting. All right. I know I haven't done much in my warm-up, but I'm going to start to put some really light weights on. I'm actually going to do some muscle snatching. as some build-up. So let's throw these on. And it's surprising how much more out of breath you get just from talking while you do some movement. All right, how do we look at this? If someone was to watch, how do I see the chat? Hopefully it just comes up on the screen. So muscle snatch, I love this. We get to work that drive through the full foot from the floor. You come up the same way you would power or snatch. And then you get to emphasize that rapid hip extension or that hip opening, followed by the pull and punch overhead. And this is light, which light for me. It's only 20 kilos, 30 kilos. So 2 grays or 2 5s on that barbell. I'll just get a couple of reps here. Before I throw some other weights on. So my snatches, I'm going to do 5 sets of 1 at 80%. Okay, so volume's quite low. Like the number of reps or how much work I'm going to do, quite low. So I'm going to try and be powerful. Don't tell anyone. But if I'm feeling good, I'm going to go above 80%. Just because it's singles, just because I haven't done some of my snatches lately, all the heavier snatches that were programmed. So if I feel good, and as long as it looks good, or I think it looks good, I'm going to go a little bit heavier. So literally, what did I do for that warm-up? Behind it, or overhead holds, that might have been a minute or two. Behind that presses, that might have been 10 or 20 reps. Some squats, that might have been 10 or 20 reps, followed by just a couple of jumps. Not a lot, and depending on how you're feeling, you might want to warm up a little bit more than that, or do a little bit more specific stuff. But based on how I feel today, that warm-up was good. And this lifting is feeling pretty good. 40 kilos, muscle snatch. Feeling nice and light. Feeling snappy. Three reps. So, no comments yet. That's okay. What am I doing? So I've got what? 1,500 something subscribers on YouTube. What I would like to do is get a few more subscribers, or get as many as I can really. But I get this watch time on YouTube up. So I've got enough subscribers to get monetized, but I don't have enough time watched. So YouTube, they want you to have 1,000 subscribers to get your videos monetized, but you also have to, in the last year, have like 4,000 hours of watch time. That's why you got content creators putting stuff out daily or weekly or regularly, because you've got to have that continuous cycle of content coming out, or people are just going to be watching your stuff, right? Here we go, 50 kilos. Another set of 3 muscle snatches. That is slower. Try and speed it up again. Cool. I'm going to roll 2 power snatches now. Not because I can't do any more weight, but because the next one will be 60 kilos. I do want to not just be fast coming up, but I could feel it slowing down. So I want to be fast open, fast close with the hips. So I'll have to drop under a little bit. Rapid hip extension, rapid hip flexion. The keys to everything in life. The keys to reproduction, that's for sure. Rapid hip extension, rapid hip flexion, repeated. Take note. All right, let's get these plates out. 60 kilos. Or for all my American friends, 135 pounds. Now in the CrossFit Open, if we've got 135, we've actually got to put half a kilo or 1 pound fractional plates on either side to make it 61 kilos, because that's the closest rounding. So 61 is our official rounding for the open if we're doing like 135. And that's a pound on each side. So annoying, but is what it is. All right, so 3 power snatches. Let's go. I get my trusty straps out too. They make training so much easier. All right. Because you don't have to hold anything. Just hold it as hard or as much. That was so fast. Cool. Next we'll go set of 2 at 70 kilos. Still not at my working weight yet, but and that's okay. And that's what I mean. I didn't do much of a warm-up, but I'm doing a few warm-up sets here. So in Australia, it's like 35 degrees Celsius today. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's about 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And because I was like, okay, I'm going to try this whole thing, recording, training, going live, talking. I've left the gym shut up, so no doors open, no windows open. And I'm a person that sweats, and this is just the beginning. That's just the beginning of what is about to come with this sweating. All right, let's angle this down. I feel really good about myself. 0 live watches. That's okay. All right, set of 2 power snatches, 70 kilos. Then my next set I'll be down at singles at my working sets. Power snatches are fun. Powerful, strong, fast. Any snatches are fun. Hey. That's fast. That was good. 70 kilos. Yeah, sweet. So I watched Taylor Self and his company Sentinel Training. They put up a YouTube video, just like a snatch training session, They didn't do this, and that's why I'm doing this, just for fun and to try it. They didn't go live. They must have filmed the session, then uploaded it after. But he got all the way up to 265-pound power snatch for a single. He said it was his all-time best, his equal best. That is so crazy. That is impressive. Like 265 for all my non-American friends. What are we looking like, 120 kilos? Because I'm pretty sure 275 is 125. And then if you take off 10 pounds, which is like 5 kilos, 120 kilo power snatch. Oh, baby. My PR power snatch, 225 or 102 kilos. I've done that 2 or 3 times in my time. 102 kilo power snatch. I'm so stoked that I can do something like that. That's cool. 100 kilo power snatch or 225 kilo power snatch. All right, this is my first single, my first working set of 5. And I'm going to go about on the minute. I'm not going to be strict or anything, but it's only singles. I'll make sure I'm lifting well. I'm going to go about on the minute. Let's see how this lift goes, and I'll decide where I go with my weight after that. This is 80 kilos, meaning it's about 80% of my 1 rep max power snatch, so I probably will go up a little bit from here. Let's have a look. Let's strap in. And these straps, they do make it a lot easier. You can power through it a lot more just because you're not thinking about your grip. All right. And because someone started watching, what's up? Hey, I missed it. You're my first watcher today. Thank you, congratulations. If you want to say anything, just comment in the live chat box. If we can start a conversation, that'd be fun. I'm gonna go again. I'm gonna hit this one. 80 kilos for a power snatch. Sweet. Hey, if you're watching, you might as well comment because it's only you here. I'm not sure if you are a subscriber or not, or if you came from Instagram through the link that I posted. But like I said in that Instagram clip, that story, basically it's just a bit of a fun trial run. I want to try and drive some people to my YouTube channel. So thank you for coming. Because I've got 50,000 subscribers, or followers on Instagram, and 1,000 on YouTube. It's a big difference. So I've got 2% of the followers on YouTube that I do on Instagram. If I could get the YouTube numbers up, that would be crazy. That would be so cool. So because you're watching, I appreciate you. Throw something in the chat. I'd love to talk. Because I'm literally just lifting, talking to myself, talking to the camera, telling everyone what's up. Let's have a look. Throw something down. What's happening? All right, time for my second working set, or my second single. Gone from 80 to 85 kilograms. So this is about 190 pounds. I can see if I can be a little bit more explosive on the way up. That's all I need to do. Sound effect. That was better. Whew. More power, but better footwork as well. First set, I went out nicely, but slightly back to my right foot. That rep was straight to the side. I'm not normally someone who jumps too far back or forward or anything like that. I'm normally really good with the footwork. But what we might do is stick with that for another set and then go up a little bit after. So it was set 2. I've got 3 to go of these before I go into my strict press. It's so hot in here. No, I'm serious. I've got one watcher. You might as well comment something. I want to talk to you. I want to find out about you. I'm telling you all about what's going on with me today. I'm lifting. I'm sweating my ass off. I'm getting so hot in here. Everyone always says Australia's hot. Is living up to that that name today. All right. 2 sets down. Let's go for another one. Let's make this perfect so that I can go up a little bit again. So what's this? About 190 pounds approximately. Just some power snatch singles. I really hope this microphone I've got on my shoulder, or my collar is working, otherwise it's a blank video. That would be a good one. If you don't know what to say, just tell me if the microphone's working or not. All right, here we go. Another single. Yeah, boy. Woo! All right, 3 out of 3. I've got 2 sets to go. Now, if you were going to comment something, where would it go? Would it just come up on the screen? Live chat. I want to know more about it. Dude, what's happening? You're my one viewer. I really, really love you. I got lots of friends on Instagram, but not very many friends on YouTube, so I appreciate you. But not many on YouTube. I'll tell you, a freaking funny place. I'll upload the same video on Instagram, just my reels, my daily CrossFit tips, and I'll upload it straight to YouTube as well, and it goes into the YouTube Shorts. Instagram, I know I've got like way more followers there, but it could go, anywhere from 10 to 100,000 views in the first couple of days. YouTube normally gets sort of 0 to 100 views or 0 to 1,000 views. I'm happy if a video gets 1,000 views on YouTube Shorts. But what's funny is I do probably get more, like I get people tagging and stuff on Instagram. That's pretty normal. But I get more like funny comments on YouTube. All I had to do was post one video of like doing a kipping pull-up, and every man and his dog comes out of the woodwork making kipping pull-up jokes. It's pretty funny. Like for some reason, you're not allowed to use your hips or your legs. Obviously, I tell people to do kipping pull-ups properly. I'm not an idiot. But all of a sudden, you're not allowed to use your hips or legs when it comes to like pull-ups. Strict is obviously king. I don't even need to say that again, right? Strict is obviously king. But kipping pull-ups are fucking cool. All right, check this out. Set number 4. Yes. Easy. Pretty easy. At least tell me your name. My one viewer, at least tell me your name. There's a live chat button or a comment button there. At least tell me your name. All right, I was going to go up for my final set, but I don't think I will. Just want to make sure I nail all of my sets. And that was one of the goals for today's session, to make sure I hit everything really well. I ran this morning, just a short run, but it was fast for me. Not fast for a lot of you beasts out there. But there's going to be a marathon in my city in a few months. And I haven't fully committed to it, but I'm thinking about signing up for the marathon. I haven't fully committed yet, but I have written a program for myself, and I have started training for it, and I've started putting myself in the mindset of training for it, and in the mindset for doing a marathon or doing an endurance running event. I've done, I'm not a runner, but I've done 1 billion 5Ks, and I've done a handful of 10Ks. I've done one proper half marathon, followed and with a few other endurance running type events in the past. So one proper half marathon a few years ago. Let's go for this last set. No endurance running events last year, but what I did do was a 100-mile mountain bike ride. Did that in 11 hours. That was fun. 160 Ks or 100 miles. It was all pretty smooth mountain biking tracks, but still a long way. Tell you what. All right. Last one. Really fast. It was fast, but my footwork wasn't amazing. Wasn't great. Cool, let's stretch this off. I'm going to go straight into my shoulder presses. The downside with shoulder press for me is my front rack isn't something I normally brag about. It's not something I normally talk about too much, in a good light at least. But it's gotten so much better just over the years of training. Now I might have to find a new place for this microphone. This microphone, which I've got no idea if it's working. So let's hook it on a little bit lower maybe. My one viewer, I said it before, I love you. I appreciate you. You validate me. You made this whole process worth it. But check this out. Oh, if I want to go into a front rack with a full grip on the bar, and if I haven't warmed it up at all, like I said, it's nothing to write home about. It's nothing to really brag about. But I've got a full-handed grip on that. Look how high above my shoulders it is. Now the tissues around my shoulder, the tissues around my elbows are tight. They are getting better, but they're tight. My triceps in particular. Like I don't get pain in my shoulder or elbow. I can feel my triceps stretching. So the tricep underneath there. I can feel it stretching. So that's one of my main focuses. I've historically had tight lats and tight traps, which also make a front rack hard. They've gotten better, which, here, take a snapshot of that in your mind. This is no warm-up. And just let me do a few elbow rotations. Let me put a plate on or two. Let's get 40 or 50 kilos on there, and we'll just stretch again a little bit. And you'll notice that that will sit down. My shoulders and arms will open up. You know, the general rule for improving your mobility or your positions in your lifting is to spend more time in that. Oh, and you can see, I'm getting better already. It's only been about a minute holding this front rack. But the more you do it, the more you spend time here, the more you train these positions, that's better. I rolled it into my fingertips, the better it gets, right? Takes a little bit of work, a little bit of time. But if lifting is something you want to do, if you want to clean, if you want to jerk, if you want to press, it's worth the effort, spending some time in that front rack position. All right, the sweat is coming out in full swing now. This is good. I like sweating. I'm not one of those types of people who's going to complain so much about the weather. It gets hot, it gets hot, cold, so what? You deal with it. And the more resilient you can become to weather or temperature changes, like it's one aspect of our life. If you can become resilient to temperature changes, it makes you so much more resilient just in general, right? All right. My one viewer, thank you. You are gone now. I appreciate you. For anyone that watches this, I appreciate you. I'm not sure if you're even going to get this far into the video. 30 minutes in. But check this out. I'm going to get this bar in my full-handed grip again. Oh. Cool. I feel it more in my triceps now, just because there's more weight and it's pressing it down to my shoulder. But you see now, bar's on my shoulder with a full-handed grip, and there's no space there. It's sitting on my torso. And this is what we want when we're lifting. We don't want that bar sitting in our hands, on our chest, or out in front of our shoulders. We want to develop this front rack position so the bar can sit on our torso. And you can stretch. Depends what you need work on. Pecs and lats, the internal rotators of the shoulder, meaning they're going to turn your shoulder down and in. And if you can open up or lengthen your pecs and lats, you're going to have a better ability to rotate up. But it could be thoracic, it could be your spine. It needs to open up. Myself, it's a lot of triceps. I hold that barbell there and I feel this tricep muscle stretching. And I don't know, maybe it's just genetic. I've got tight triceps. Doesn't mean I can't do anything about it because you saw the difference. Just a minute or two of stretching and it actually fixes itself up. That will go back to what it was beforehand. Hopefully only 99% of what it was. So every time I clean or press and I stretch it, maybe it gets 1% better. Hopefully it gets 1% better, but it will go back to mostly what it was. But what you notice over time, incremental change happens, incremental improvement happens. All right, so what I'm doing for shoulder press, I'm going to do 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Building every set. Again, this is pretty low volume, but I did run, like I said before, this morning. So what I wanted to do with the snatches and the pressing was to be powerful and be strong for just a couple of reps, okay? So this is going to be my set of 6. This is going to be 40 kilos. I am going to stop on the shoulder between every rep. Oh. That overhead. I'm just going to spend a second here just to make sure that warms up. 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is so random, but something I like to do after my pressing is drop it onto my back rack. But because we're 30 minutes in, I'm going to tell you all a secret. That's how I broke my elbow once upon a time. Pressing heavy is push presses. Boom. Overhead is the last rep I was going to do for the day. And I decided I'm going to back rack it. I hadn't back racked until that point. So I was asleep at the wheel. I did not think about what I was doing. I tried to back rack a heavy push press. It basically, it touched my back of my shoulders, but essentially it slipped straight off the back and both my arms have cranked back that way. My torso hasn't moved, but my elbow or my shoulder and arm have just twisted basically like a 365 degrees like that. And you try and do that. Your arm's not meant to go that way. My right arm was like 90% all right, like it was a bit sprained, it was sore. I could do everything with it, no problems. My left arm was effed up. I broke the end off the olecranon. I call it just like a cup joint. I'm not sure what it's called exactly. There's one of the muscles in your forearm, not muscles, bones in your forearm, the olecranon. Basically, it's this cup, and the other bone comes in, and that's how it moves, right? I snapped off the end of it, and that allowed the rotation. So I call it a broken elbow, but it was pretty much like a full dislocation, some torn ligaments. So be very, very careful when you are back racking anything, ever, anything ever. Now, I can't remember if I did 6 or 5. I was meant to do 6. I've got a funny feeling I only did 5. Not the biggest problem in the world. I'm going to have 50 kilos on there. I'll do a set of 5 now with 50 kilos. I do like shoulder pressing or strict pressing. I do really like it. Just going to warm up and get into it though. My front rack is not amazing. My pressing grip overhead isn't amazing. All right, here we go. Set of 5. Oh, I reckon I could keep that closer. That was better. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Cool. Set of 5 with 50 kilos. Let's go to set of 4 with 60. I would love to be stronger here. It's not like a desperate goal I'm working towards, because I mean with CrossFit or with GPP type thing, you're just trying to get better in general. But I really would like to be stronger in a strict press or a shoulder press. Actually, going back to talk about running. Training for a marathon or a half marathon or an endurance run. My program is for a marathon, but it's such early stages in the program that it's literally just running. But what I'm doing is working off some paces that I've got for my own abilities. And what I'm going to try and do is increase the distance I can do with those paces, rather than trying to decrease my pace. So I'm starting with low distance. Low distances, I am doing a short, medium, long day each week. That's the plan. It's 3 running days a week. But the goal is, if I had to put a goal out there, it would be to run a sub 4 hour marathon. When I ran my half years ago, I trained to run a sub 2 hour marathon and a half marathon, and I hit all my paces in my training sessions to do that. And I ended up running my half marathon in 1 hour 58 or something like that. And the lesson I got from that was you can literally train to do what you want, anything you want. That was probably my barrier or limit at that time in my life or in my training journey. But the lesson is you can train to do whatever you want, right? So if I set the goal to run a 4 hour marathon, I believe I can set my training goals in the lead up to be able to do that. Now, if you ask me to go and cover 42 kilometers right now, it'd probably take me about 5 or 6 hours, because I'm not in that running endurance shape. Hold up. 4 reps. 1, 2, 3, 4. But I reckon I could do it, right? back to 0 viewers. 40 minutes in. You know, I'm not too concerned if I don't get any viewers because what am I actually doing, you guys? Nothing. I'm just putting a video up here on the world or the internet world of YouTube. Me training, me talking. And other than talking about this session and just a few other things that come to mind, I'm not talking about that much, so here I am brainstorming mid-live video what to do next with YouTube content, with talking to you guys, with trying to help, right? Selfishly, I make content because I love it. I like to do it. I know it's going to benefit me in the long run or whatever. But I do want to make stuff that is of value or serves people. People want to watch, right? I've spent the last 2 years, every single day, putting out a new video on my Instagram page, daily CrossFit tip or daily training tip. It's been fun, it's been enjoyable, I've had a blast, but it's been of value, it's been interesting to watch, it's been engaging for all of you, right? For the world. So there's 2 ways. So I've got to figure out what to do with YouTube to be able to do that. Now I do as many affiliates as possible on my YouTube channel as well, where I do drop into affiliates and do like a little vlog style video. I've done about 60 something so far drop-ins. But it's so much effort, honestly. If I could get a sponsor that could help me do more of that, that would be so good. Here we go, set of 3. Let's go, set of 3, let's go. I do like to scream and grunt when I lift, and I'm saving you guys most of that, but honestly it works. It gets you fired up, gets you aggressive, gets you in your fight or flight or your sympathetic nervous system. Let's go, set of 3. 2. Okay. Nice. Woo! That was good. Set of 3, it's 70 kilos. My best ever, I think, was like a set of 5 at 75 kilos. I think if my life depended on it, I could have done 5 at that pretty easily. Not sure if you saw from the side, lost my neutral spine a little bit. So as I was pressing up, leaning back a bit, you see that heaps in the world of strongman and strict pressing and shoulder pressing. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's not perfect, so we'll try and work towards perfect. With any kind of training, when you're pushing the limit, there will be variation. Is this a good idea? 80 kilos for a set of 2. Fucking let's go. Oh, yeah, well, I better fire up. 44 minutes in to this live video, and we're about to hit a set of 2 reps at 80 kilos on a shoulder press. This is fun. I mean, making this YouTube video, going live, talking to you guys. And by talking to you guys, I mean there's nobody watching. This is fun. This is fun for me. How do I make it more fun for you? Oh, I had someone. Oh no. They were there and then they were gone. Oh no. I was going to say, my life was about to get so good I was going to have another viewer. This is fun. This has been a great learning process for me. Going live on YouTube, talking, lifting, doing whatever. No one's watched it so far, well, 2 people have. But if I didn't do it, I wouldn't have known what it was like. Another life lesson. If I didn't do it, I wouldn't have known what it was like. So this has been quite an enjoyable process. This has been cool. All right. Everyone thinks I can do it. I know. All 0 watchers, all 0 viewers know I can do it. Set at 2 kilos. Set at 2 reps. I can talk a lot of shit, but I get my words mixed up a lot. Ooh, let's go. Set at 2. Yes. Ooh. Glad no one was watching. There was another slight loss of neutral spine, but I fucking did it. Now I'm going to do my set of 1 very soon. Based on how hard that was, that pretty much counts as my set of 1. I'm going to do 80. I'm going to do 81 kilos. I'm adding 1 pound to either side, or a smidgen over 1 pound to either side. Only because that was so hard. That last set, and for some reason in my head I do want to still go up for this last set. So let's have 1 more win for the day, 1 more success. I'm going to let these tiny little shoulders I've got have a rest before I go again. Now, something I changed for that set because I knew it was going to be harder is I did, in my rack position, keep that full hand like I have to have in a press, but more full-handed and more neutral wrist, which brought my elbows down lower and got me more of a vertical position here, which I know I'm stronger from, rather than being so high with the elbow and you're like pressing like that. Instead, I just decided to drive straight up. I know I'm stronger in that position. Yeah, that's basically it. So, a little bit more rest. This is going to be my final set. And I'm going to love you guys and leave you. I don't know how I'm going to show my appreciation for everybody watching. If anyone gets this point, if anyone re-watches this and gets to this point, DM me on Instagram and I will send you a free t-shirt. If anyone gets to this point on this video, DM me on Instagram. The first person to do it, I'll send you a free t-shirt anywhere in the world. Let's see if anyone gets this far in. If anyone finds it that interesting. If you didn't find it interesting, write in the comments what you do want to see, what you would find interesting. If watching people train is that interesting, which, yeah, it could be, might not be. I think I've done a pretty good job at talking most of the way through. I get to distract myself with adding weight, taking weight. I can talk about that. Each set I can talk about how I'm feeling or what happened. And then you fill it in with whatever else comes into your mind. Okay, so we're going for 81 kilos for 1 rep. Heavy single for the day. Let's go. Time to scream. Ooh, let's go. Come on, 1 rep and I'm just fucking gonna do it. Yeah. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, sweet. That was pretty easy, that heavy single. Hey, I've got a viewer. Don't go anywhere. You've made it to 49 minutes into this video. We've logged in at just the right time, and I'm about to log off. But I want to know, I've had barely any viewers, just because this was a complete test run of what of doing live training, talking, letting you guys know what's up. So since you're the last one here, jump down to that live chat. I want to know who you are. I want to know what brought you here. I've got lots of friends, I was saying before, I've got lots of friends on Instagram. Heaps of followers on Instagram, but I've got barely any on YouTube. So I'm trying to drive people to YouTube. Tell me what's up in the chat. I want to know who you are. I want to know what brought you here. I'm just going to pack up, so chat away. Tell me who you are. I want to celebrate you. Because I've just had a good session. Hit some fun lifts. Throw something in the chat. Make sure you subscribe too. Every single subscriber makes a difference to my life. Validates my existence. No, if I've made... It never has. But there are lessons you learn along the way of putting stuff out online or putting out content that it's awesome that you get to meet people, but the number of followers you have or number of subscribers doesn't matter. Or the number of likes doesn't matter. That being said, I'm trying to get my YouTube up to a point where YouTube will pay me. So this was just like a little test run of, this was literally like a little test run of doing a live video while I train, talking to you guys. Anyway, I appreciate you. You got about 10 seconds to write something in the chat, or I'm going to turn this off. I appreciate you. I'm out of here. I'll see you either later or on Instagram. Ciao.